Let's go, everybody. We got another one. Best of 5, and we have the Hardos against 30k, the number 1 in the standings, the Hardos, and they play against 30k right now. The last time that the two went up against each other, it was a 3-0 victory for the Hardos. And you kind of can expect that this time the outcome is a little bit different. At least 30k needs to come in and take a few maps out of their opponents. So we'll see how it goes. But at least for now, it's an interesting one. Because we're also kind of late today, since the previous series went full on overtime. I mean, honestly, Team Arthurs against Go Next, not only did they go the full distance, we also had multiple problems because one of the players lost his internet connection. And from what I could tell, also electricity. So we had to wait for him to come back too, which also forced one team to play with a bot for some time. So yeah, we're a bit late here today, which is why at least the Hardos are going to be tempted to speedrun this a little bit, and we'll find out if they can. Very early ban on Medivh already, with Lucio getting banned out too. Braxis is the first map of the series. Not your normal first map, honestly, so not what normally happens here. Alterac Pass and Volskaya Foundry were both banned, by the way, so that's the bans on the maps for today's match. And we are still on the 9th Playday of the Masters Clash, so of course this is the second time that the two teams go up against each other. Yeah, and as it stands, I want to see what happens again with our two priority picks these days. Hogger and Sonya. Now, then again, Braxis Holder is a little bit different. You want to have heroes that are really mobile on the map. Genji is oftentimes being played here. Junkrat sees a lot of play. Nuburak, for example, gets played too. Anything that allows you to move between lanes through the breeze is always golden for you. Now, Hogger and Sonya, they are just so good right now that you can expect them to be taken anyways. There's Sonya, but Genji, as I already pointed him out, gets locked in the first rotation right away. Even Karazim gets picked here a lot, because if you give him a dash target, he can easily also traverse the debris, so that's a big one for him too. And, well, we're gonna find out what else is going to be taken. Because again, mobility is everything. Rotations between the beacons is super important, and you also want to have a lineup that can take the mercenary camps as quickly as possible, since we have them all over the place here. So we're going to check that out. We got Jimmy in, and there is the Anubarak pick, as already expected. So Anubarak is coming through. Yeah, and that leaves us with the bans. But with the Nubarak in, supports are also going to be fairly interesting. As I mentioned, this is a map where you could see a bit more of Karazim, but we still have Stukov up and we have Malfurion up. So that's two great picks that we could see to just ensure that you are getting follow-up on the stun. But as I say, Stukov gets banned out, and if you look over to the ban pattern, Uther banned, Brightwing banned, Lucio gets banned, and we have also a ban on Stukov now. So, bit crazy. That is definitely limiting support options a bit here. Malfurion is, at this point, the top support that is still up. Now you got still Deckard Cain, for example. You have Karazim. It's not like we're running out of supports anytime soon. There's still plenty of good ones around. But it's still noteworthy that the air is getting a bit thinner there. But just the three that I mentioned are already top tier, especially on this map. So yeah, we're likely going to see 2 out of the 3 now being taken. Now that Mei gets banned, that means that Masquerade can also not dominate the front line with the slows. Would love to see something else where he can just go ham. I mean, his Diablo is absolutely legendary. Does he get enough wall stun opportunities here, though? There's Karazim and Muradin. So a little bit more hoppity hop hop. Also a frontliner that are going strong. And, well, for now, the last 2 picks for the boys. Yeah, some of the accounts, by the way, have been renamed. You probably already picked up on this. That's all mainly due because there's also a new CCL season starting on the North American server, and since it's always a little bit like with this captain's draft setup that they have over here, that means that the teams are shifting. Keep in mind that the teams that are played on the North American server and CCL have nothing to do with the teams that are played on the European server. So even if you sometimes see the same organization having a team on an A and having a team on EU, it doesn't mean that the teams are the same. So just in your head, disconnect the NA matches from the European matches, and you will probably have an easier time thinking about all of that. Yeah, Pointed Junkrat already out, as we've been talking about strong picks on Braxis holdout. So here we have him. So Junkrat, Genji are both getting played. We have Sonya, Karazim, Muradin. Incredible mobility now on the side of 30k. Guys, we're heading into game number 1. It is Braxis holdout. We have the Hardos going up against 30k in this best of 5 at the Masters Clash. Game number 1, Brex's Holdout. Let's go, everybody. We got the Hardos in against 30k. It was a little bit crazy in the first half of the season. The Hazus were undefeated until they faced off against the Donuts, and up to that point they didn't even lose a single map. But then things changed a little bit. Even against Team Soundless they struggled, but they are of course still the number 1 team. They're the ones that you need to beat if you want to be at the top. Hardos himself on Cassia. We got Yasuo on Rega. Chris is playing Hogga. Nick on Reyna. And Bad Benny is playing a Nubarak. On the right side of the map, Dequaza on Sonya for 30k. We got Ultralisk on Genji. X-Ray on Karazim. Dino on Junkrat. And Masquerade with Muradin. Already locking in the first Stormbolt connect here. We got the ace in the hole on our boy Jimmy. And Rega as a pick, by the way, just to highlight it again. So we got Rega in here, who as a support can always now come through. And of course also the doggy coming straight in with a run. Yeah, all the mobility that we're seeing for 30k. I mentioned it before, but if you're playing on this map, the beacons, you need to have as much mobility as possible in your lineup if you are trying to play around your opponent, and they're going to try and move from the top to the bottom continuously to just take one beacon after another or play around the opposition here. So that's what's more or less happening. And you can see it already happen right here, as we're seeing Masquerade and Ultralisk both move down to the bot lane. They're trying to help Dino out. Dino, of course, could once again go into... I mean, even Rocket Ride on this map is solid because you can use it as a bit of a wave clear tool too. Has been used for that in the past. But anyways, you want to have the wave clear, you want to have the mobility, you want to have the zone control for the camps. This time, Cassia not heading off into stacking, but instead playing it around with the level 1 on the charged strikes. And of course, I mentioned it during the draft, the control over the camps is the most important. Nice sandwich position against Sonya, and she doesn't stand a chance there. Gets blown up immediately. A great kill from the Hardos. They were trying to steal the camp away, and of course they can successfully do that. But at least the Nubarak dies as well, so good job by 30k. They lost the camp, and that's definitely a bit of a blow against them. But at least they were able to get a counter kill, so there's a bit of light on the horizon for them. And yeah, good on them. Masquerade with the aggressive jump once more, was hoping for another Stormbolt connect. We have him on level 1 already with a Dwarf block, so he's not playing any kind of Stormbolt setup. Sometimes we have players going straight into the level 4 Stormbolt talent. Anyways, Sledgehammer, just to make sure that they're completing their baseline quest a little bit faster. But it's honestly a bit of a toss-up. Most of the time when you're seeing Sledgehammer, you will also commit to the perfect Storm on level 1. Figuring out how he's going to play it here. It's all about how important is that baseline to you and how much can you do with just throwing out the Storm Bolts normally. And he goes for the double clap, so likely the healing static on level 13 kicking in again, looking for the synergy here. The solo lane is still all the way up at the top side, and down here at the bottom of the map, as you can tell, we still have our battle between the two teams here, as they are going full out on the beacon. So, yep, here we go. Also, with the newly added Rega, we have now an opportunity for them to play around the healing totem, and with some good positioning on that, you have more sustain on those lanes. 52% already for 30k on the progress. And that's kind of neat, honestly. Even if you're losing out on the objective, it's not like it's a winner-takes-all situation. It's not like Volskaya Foundry. So the 52% will already give them a fairly decent Zerg wave that they can rely upon. And can check that out. Oh, Masquerade! Nice move against Bad Benny. If Masquerade connects the Stormbolt there towards the end, the cockroach is dying again. But yeah, Masquerade himself was of course also looking pretty squishy there in that situation. He could have died for sure. But topside now, Chris, he's gonna try to hold on to all of this. And is he going to be able to do that? Yeah, not quite. Yeah, he's getting it. 60 to 60% now. They're trying to get back down to the bot lane to play around that. So, trying to move for the position here. And right now, they have to at least retreat. Again, mobility is key here. I mean, there's even plays in the past. I mean, most of you remember it when Phoenix, was played with Planet Cracker on this map because you could help out the second lane with your ult. So if anybody set something up with some decent stuns and then Planet Cracker came in, Phoenix could chip in some damage without even moving. So anything that is like cross map is always kind of neat here. They're going for Chris at the top, trying to do a bit more damage. And Genji is already waiting at the side. So they're really thinking about just jumping on Hogger and getting a kill there. Muradin was also attempting to interrupt the camp take at the bot lane, but that didn't really work out for them. Level 7 now for both of the teams, and structural damage is what both of them are looking at right now. So they're pushing through the bottom. We have still another setup right here at the top where they are finally taking that camp again. So off we go. And at the bottom, the push is continuing. They're going for the fountain. They have still their own camp. And this is looking fantastic for the Hardos. They're looking really good here. The counter is happening now that the red team is committing to the battle, but they are getting pushed back again. And X-Ray in particular has dropped in hit points quickly and needed to retreat. So this bottom fort is already down to 50% HP, and they lost the fountain, which is even more important because it takes the lane sustain away from you. So the red team is starting to really struggle here. The Hardos are getting some serious damage connected, and they are pressuring them hard. I mean, you look at the experience and it's nearly the same, but structures are super important, and if they're able to take down the fort, then that also means that the path of retreat is way longer for 30k. The distance to safety is going to be gigantic. Hogger at the top lane gets eliminated though, and that's an important kill now for 30k. So job well done. Taking Chris down allows Sonya to pressure this out a bit more, and it also establishes the control once again at the top beacon. We got 60% on the progress of both of the teams still, but now Quasar has a little bit of additional wiggle room and can start to take the structures down. So he's attempting to drop the front gate as much as he can. And, well, here we go. 1 kill against 2. They're making the play for the camp again. Hogger is slowly coming back, but he's not here yet. They still have 4 heroes down at the bottom of the map, and Hogger is now rotating topside again. Sonya was even thinking about chipping in and joining the fight down here. But now, Quasar, Muradin. Yeah, the dwarf tries to get out, and he is able to escape, but whew, that got spicy for a moment. If he dies, that is a massive setback. And talking about setbacks, we nearly have level 10 now for 30k. That's a problem for the Hardos. An early level 10 is going to be a big problem if the push is happening at the same time. And now the Hardos, they're trying to get extra experience at the bottom, but they're also going to have a tough time holding on to that beacon once that the level 10 ability is ready. So that could translate into a stronger objective for 30k. They got the 7-sided, and they're trying to make the play for Hazu now. Stormbolt gets dodged out on. 7-sided, Riptire, X-Strike. They dropped everything on him. Nice. The kill is in. And now they go for the objective. And they're triggering the boss. They're triggering the boss too. They still got the level 10 advantage. Of course they're going to try and play it. Cassia is down. You got level 10. Why not make the play? And the longer the Hardos stick around in the middle, that means that the bot lane is doing even more work. Self-Ancestral on Rhaegar. Big penetrating round. But oh, Hogger with a big poke. And that is the steal on the boss. They got it. And Rhaegar is... he's killing Karasim. No. The big throw. Check it out, guys. Have a look at that. Everybody clustering up. A penetrating round that connected with 4 heroes. Then Hogger jumps in, cuts off their path of retreat, and they're taking everybody apart. 5 kills, 2-3, 30k. They can't even get the fort at the bottom. I mean, it's a meme. Look at this. A hit point. That's pretty much 1 hit point that thing has. Boss at the top has to be dealt with. That's what they're trying to do. And at the bottom of the map, the Hardos, they're going for the fort. Hogger with the big damage in the last fight. And holy cow. Yeah, that one was more than just a little bit nasty. That was pretty rough. But anyways, as you can see from the damage numbers right now, we got 20,000 for Hogger for good reason. He's at the same numbers that we're seeing from Junkrat, by the way. Yeah, and they're moving back to the side again because the red team has decided that their only success is in them being aggressive. The X-Try maybe a little bit not really needed, and even X-Ray committing to his 7-sided, so they went in that last team fight, hitting those R buttons like there's no tomorrow. But now they stole at least the camp. So they surprised them, they stole the camp. But the fort is still there. Nick is able to hold on to the fort. And at some point, Muradin or somebody else is going to make a move down to the bottom of the map and just simply chip a single damage point in. There we go. Ultra zip, shuriken, and down they go. Also taking the walls down is of course kind of important. Make sure that you don't leave any vision tools for your opponent up. So that worked as well, but damn son. Yeah, here comes another quick stun. Camps, super important. I highlighted it during the draft. They all have lineups that allow them to take the camps quickly, and that's exactly what they need here. Yeah, and now the second objective is going to be announced soon, but it's also... There it is. But it's also important that we're looking at the level 13, because there is a slight gap in favor of the Hardos that they are trying to capitalize on by pushing through the top lane. They're aggressively... Yeah, they're even dropping the Hyperion here. They know that they have the lead on this one. Nice isolation of Bad Benny. He gets out. The self-ancestral on Rhaegar. He doesn't give a shit about the cockroach. And Nuburak goes down. Bad Benny dies. The healing static synergy now with a double clap of Muradin. And another Stormbolt hits home. He's just 2 hits away from getting his baseline quest completed. It's a 4 versus 5 at the top. Chris is trying to poke them out again. Dino on his Junkrat. He's doing such a great job. A lot of these isolation plays that we've seen now from Dino were just excellent. Allowed the team to get kills. He's trying it again against Nick. Not working this time. But he's always a threat here. Every single time. So, at the bottom, another camp is about to be taken. And of course, they are trying to play the Ring Around the Rosie game again to lock in some of the beacons to get the progress here. Boss is going to be back up in a minute. They're going to think twice about taking that. And at the top, another fort is about to go down. So the damage output of the Hardos, it is continuing to do some work here. Yeah, they're taking it as much as they can. Bad Benny, a bit low, and needs to make his way out and burrow charge his way out to safety. They have the double control now. 30k, they got the control on the objective. They're going for Hazu, and Hazu is dead. The quest for Muradin completed. He now has the cooldown reduction and the pierce. Nicely done. The cleanse on Nick saving Reyna for another day or so, I thought. And then we had Genji committing to the fight. And he, with the help of Sonya, is able to take down Reyna. Jimmy down. And guys, that is a big objective now. That is a huge objective. 100% to 0. I guess the objective is always the same size if you win it. But the gap is the most important thing. And the gap between them right now, it couldn't be any better. So this thing, this isn't a Zerg wave. Like, are you kidding me? No, this is a joke. This is a joke, that's what that is. You want to see a Zerg wave? That is a Zerg wave. Oh yeah, believe me. I mean, that's a Zerg wave. And you have a camp pushing as well. So that one is gonna hurt. And there's a level lead now for 30k. As I told you before, the last time those two teams met, the Hardos, they crushed everybody. They crushed everyone. Right now, very different story. 30k, they want to contest the top. They are in the top 3 right now, but they want to come in swinging. They want to make sure that they are at least taking a map. They want to take the series, and they are currently putting the legwork in. They're going for the top keep. They're taking it down. Genji zips out, and the keep is in. Yeah, you can maybe fault 30k for playing it a bit too aggressive early on and starting to look for momentum where they should have played it safe instead. Going for the boss was probably asking for too much. You can pull that off against a lot of teams, but not against the Hardos. Rhaegar has still not died yet, but as you can tell, we have a big advantage now for the team in red. 30k is looking strong here. Muradin with another Stormbolt. Yep, there we go. Masquerade is double checking every single time. And they're on the chase. They got the level 16. And they're trying to control the left side of the map now. They're going to attempt to steal all of those camps away. With the extra talent, are you kidding me? Of course they're going to go for it. Here's Muradin with the Avatar. Quasar with a spin to win. He's going out. They're trying to go for Nick again. X-Strike. Where's that Stormbolt where you need it, baby? Everybody low. Quasar is backing off already. And another Stormbolt connects and hits home and hits hard. They took the camp. But the Hardos, they're fighting well. Considering that they don't have a level 16 talent. For sure. Jimmy. And Nick is, of course, the primary target now. He has a lot of HP on the other hand. I mean, he's at 43 stacks on his level 4 talent. The Behemoth armor is really starting to kick in here. But the Hardos, they don't want to take that fight if they don't have to. Not against the level 16 talent. You only... And there's another one. That's a little bit reminiscent of what happened earlier. So they see Cassie at the bot lane, but of course Nick is going to check that out. So boss gets attacked again. Already Junkrat is trying to save the space. Here comes the Riptire, and the boss gets taken this time. Just as the level 16 comes in, we got the epicenter ready. And the boss is taken. Second time's the charm, apparently. After 30k failed to lock it in earlier today, they are now in a position where they were finally able to claim it. So good on them. Push down to the bottom of the map, and that's where potentially a second keep is now going to fall. If they can take down keep number 2, whew, that would be kind of nice for them. Yeah, that's the goal here. Take the second keep, and then control the entire game. Control... Oh! Nick! Oh my god, they save him. They barely save him, but that also pushes him back, and therefore the boss is now going straight up for keep. And what does 30k do? They fall back to lock in the objective as early as they possibly can. Keep at the bottom, it's not falling, but yeah, they have the double control now, and they're going for their own camps. 14%, 18, 20. They're not going to get the entire thing right now, but they're definitely going to get a lead on it. Yeah, 32, 34, put me up to 40, and that's a solid advantage, especially now that their camps are also pushing the lanes, so the Hardos, they will have to react to that. And of course, now we're having Catapult slowly approaching the core. It's 16 minutes in, so this is not really game-ending yet, but this is still going to be a problem. And Chris, for example, has to Hearthstone back to deal with the situation, or at least he thought about it, and then realized, well, the minion wave that just spawned is going to take it down, so I don't have to do anything here. Time is working in favor of 30k. Time is working in favor of 30k right now. There's Chris moving back. There's a camp and catapults pushing in. He's always trying for it. As long as they don't have vision, he is going to be the one to always go for the channel. Because there's always a chance that somebody is escorting the top wave too. Oh, the early Ancestral. Chris is down, and it is again Junkrat that is able to get the plays and the isolations going. That's a double kill, guys. That has to be game. What a beautiful setup. And Dino, he's beasting it on Junkrat. What a fantastic Junkrat game by him. 3 down, 4 down. They're killing 4 of them, and the core is already under attack. Catapults are in on it, and this is gonna be game number 1. The victory for 30k on the first map. Brax's holdout, everybody. What a great setup here for 30k. They're starting things off with a bang. The Hardos losing map number 1 in this best of 5 series at the Masters Clash. Nicely done by the red team as we are heading for game number 2 of the best of 5.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Game number 2, Battlefield of Eternity, the Hardos against 30k. Let's go. Yeah, boys and girls, the Hardos, last time they took the entire series with a 3-0, didn't drop a map, didn't even come close to dropping a map. Now they are behind. Of course, they can still bring this back with 3 wins in a row, but still, kudos to 30k, and especially Dino. I mean, it's always a little bit weird to single out a single player, and I feel there's a lot of guys on the side of 30k that did an amazing job. Masquerade with Muradin was such a huge force in these fights. He completed his baseline quest super early. He had some fantastic Stormbolt setups, but Dino, honestly, the isolations that he just pulled off time and time again with his Junkrat to isolate a target on the other side and then take them down, that was pretty incredible. Right now, we got the ban on May again. We also got Uther banned out. Battlefield of Eternity demands a little bit of a different playstyle, of course. You have 2 lanes, but most of the fights are centering around the middle of the map, where we're having the Immortal fight starting up. Sonya gets banned. Could still see a Hogger ban or an early Hogger pick as usual. But when it comes to the damage against the Immortal, we're talking about the usual suspects. You're talking about Jimmy. You're talking about Li Ming. You're talking about Hanzo. Possibly Vala with an arrow build, played less often, but again, still really strong. And yeah, for now, let's go. Hogger is up. And there's the pick. Okay, so Hogger is in, and well, it's time for the double pick now. Okay, I feel it was kind of obvious that Chris would go for Hogger here. If you leave him up, he's going to take it. They banned out Lucio against Yasuo, and it's a very similar focus to what we've seen in the draft for game number 1. They're targeting the supports here, and I suppose there's a chance it's going to happen throughout the third bans too. But there's Chromie and there's Varian. If that is the first pick rotation, you already know what you are in for. So now you're looking at the Hardos and they're immediately thinking, hey, okay, which are the heroes that we want to get rid of? Stukov would be a fantastic addition to what our opponent is playing right now. Malfurion would work well with it. Brightwing would work well with it. So there's 3 heroes right off the bat where you're looking at it and you're like, all 3 of them would be solid. If you play it hyper-aggressive, you can even go for the 7-sided strike, but I love the addition of Anduin. Yes, you heard me right. Anduin, the crybaby, gets picked. Why does he get picked? Pretty simple. He's really good against Daddy. It's just the case. Anduin always had a bit of a Daddy complex, and nowhere do you realize it more than in the Nexus. Because whenever Varian comes in with a taunt, Anduin is there and just pulls the target out and saves it. Because every single time that Varian comes in, attacks Chris, attacks Hogger, insults him, taunts him, you look like a dirty raccoon and you smell like one too, and Hogger just goes like full sees red and goes for it, then you have Anduin just simply like, whoop, not on my watch, and pulls the target out. Now, the ban against Medivh obviously is also ensuring that at least some of those attacks are going to come through eventually from Varian. If you have Medivh being played by the Hardos too, on top of what they're already running here, then things are going to get even worse, because they're never going to be able to go for a good lockdown with Taunt. But yes, Anduin is going to do some solid work here. Now, we got Tracer banned out this time. Don't want to risk anything. But, well, let's go for the double pick. Because they need to choose which support they want to follow up on this. Is it going to be the Stukov setup? Lurking Arm after Varian engage, or are they opting in for Malfurion instead? That's the question right now. Stukov. It's Stukov. Okay, we're playing Stukov with it, and we have Yrel. Yrel can try to control Anduin's positioning a little bit more. But, well, that leaves us with the last 2 picks for the Hardos. And of course, with that, what are we getting here? Nick in particular is someone that we still need to watch out for. But also the front line. Bad Benny has been playing a lot of Varian himself. We've seen him a lot moving then into Diablo, moving into also Nuborak. Could be one of the 2, but it's Tyrael this time. Tyrael and Samuro. Okay. Tyrael and Samuro is in. And well, ladies and gentlemen, last pick on Ultra List before we're heading into map number 2 of this Best of 5 series. Yeah, some good Heroes of the Storm action here today. A lot of people are expecting a 5-mapper out of this one too. I'm not sure what we're going to get, but I definitely think that it's going to be pretty epic. So right now, 30k is in the lead. Illidan! Okay, we get an Illidan pick, everybody! Feel the hatred of 10,000 Hero League games. Let's go. Battlefield of Eternity, everybody. Game number 2, map number 2 in this Best of 5 series between 30k and the Hardos. Game number 2, and well, boys, he's back. The man with a blindfold. We have Illidan in the game. I did not expect him to make a reappearance here. I was definitely not prepared for that pick. On the left side, the Hardos with Hazops on Hanzo, Yazu on Anduin. We got Chris on Hogger, Bad Benny on Tyrael, and Nick on Samuro. And on the right side of the map, it's Dequaz on Yrel, X-Ray on Stukov, Dino on Chromie, Masquerade on Varian, and the man himself, Ultralisk, is playing Illidan with the Battered Assault on level 1. Okay, so off we go. This is going to be a pretty big one. I want to see what he can pull off with Illidan in particular here. I was already happy when I saw the Samuro pick, but Illidan, whew, are you kidding me? I haven't seen the boy in a while. I mean, that's pretty much a Darkmok pick right here, right now. Down at the bottom of the map, though, it seems like we have a bit of an aggressive stance from the blue team. They were invading this one hard, hoping to catch someone off guard here. And it is time to party. Look at that little statue here. Rocking the coin. Nick on the doubloon. There we go. Yeah, part of me really wants for Blizzard to finally balance Blackheart's Bay a little bit. Blackheart's Bay is right now just a map that is not in any way suited for competitive play, but I was always a fan of the mechanic on the map. I think it's kind of fun. Back in the days, I really liked it, especially, you know, before teams figured out that when they're playing it in tournaments, they never have to engage in a single team fight and can just either push lanes or go for the objective. Before they figured that out, it was always fun to see stuff happen on Blackheart's Bay. So seeing the doubloon on Nick there kind of makes me wish that Blizzard comes through and somehow balances the map for competitive play, so we see a couple of Blackhearts matches at some point. Yeah, Dequaza is just double checking what's happening topside, but of course against this entire setup he can't really do anything. Yeah, gets rooted, but he's gonna make his way out of the fight. Not really a problem for him. Illidan is usually a hero that you also more so play in the late game. The problem with Illidan is that early on he most of the time isn't really strong enough to have a big impact. There's of course a couple of outlier matches where early on already you can still get some early kills in, but generally speaking he thrives in the later stages of the game when the opponent's distance to safety is much bigger, aka when the first forts are eliminated, when there's not a fountain everywhere, when you can just simply move behind a wall. So there's a lot of that happening. And of course he's great against structures too. That goes for forts, that goes for keeps, but also for the core. In particular, Rich for MVP Black back in the day showed everybody how strong Illidan is if you leave him alone on the lane. And he just destroyed structures all day long. But yeah, you wanna chase with Illidan. You wanna have some space to chase people. And that's what we're gonna see as it continues. The Hunter's Onslaught is in on level 4. We got the Taunt, of course, which is where we're gonna see Varian have his impact. As pointed out earlier, Anduin, he is more or less on cover duty. He needs to ensure that every single time that Varian comes in with the Taunt, he counterplays it a bit. Now, it's of course not as easy as it sounds because you're losing the cooldown battle every time. But just having that option is always big, because the other team has to reset too. Not only because of Varian, but because of everybody else that is involved in a combo like this. That goes for Stukov, that goes for Chromie, so we'll keep our eye on that. But by now, we got our first objective up, and well, we already have Ultralisk going up against Nyx Samuro here. The main action is really happening at the bottom, where the blue team's Immortal is being defended, and Chromie is slowly but steadily working a bit of damage in. Nobody has made a move over to the Immortal of 30k, so that's good for them, as long as they're pinning the Hardos down. It's good locked up. And here comes the hit. Nice! Bad Benny with the pressure against Dino. But Dino is playing this fairly well so far. Now you have to keep the level 7 in mind too, of course. Because if you're really looking at a first objective that drags out, then you can maybe even get level 7 talents around the objective fight. Normally it kicks in when the Immortal is on lane. But given how delayed all of this was and how little moves we've seen for the actual Immortal, this could happen a little bit quicker. Hanzo is now finally committing to the attack. And down here, the halftime show gets locked in by 30k. So they're winning the 50%. And Illidan, we talked about him on structures, and he shows it again. The wall is gone. But of course, it's all about the Immortal right now. And Illidan is soon going to join the fun here. But, well, can they take this one? Nick is sitting on the left side and is chipping away at the hit points, but Chris is down. Hogga got poked hard by Chromie. Chromie with a big hit here. Yay! Good job, girl. Well deserved. Nicely done. So yeah, Dino is happy and is going full weep on us. But now that they have the Immortal and they have Illidan up at the top lane, this is gonna be a push for the bottom of the map. We got also the Divine Steed in. Illidan with the Unbound right here, going for the sweeping strikes, getting a little bit of synergy with his level 1 talent, of course. But yeah, time to party! So for now, what can they do here? They are starting to go through the bottom wall. It's probably the most that they can get out of this push. I would be surprised if they can get the entire fort. I would be shocked, honestly, so I don't think that's happening. But just a little bit of damage would already be enough. And maybe the fountain. Take the fountain down, take the sustain away. But they're really pushing them back hard now. They're getting way more out of this than I expected. They're getting the entire thing. A fight is being forced by the Hardos, but that fort is gonna fall. That fort falls 100%. I might not be the only one. Bad Benny's trying to escape here. Bad Benny, hello? Tag me when Benny feeds. Down he goes. Yeah, and that is mad value. I'm a little bit shocked how much 30k got out of this one. Damn, son. They got the fort, they got the fountain, and they got an additional kill. What's going on here? 30k. Apparently they got a little bit mad that in the first half of the season they lost to the Hardos without even taking a single map, so they decided to speedrun it today. That was a bit of a surprise. I can tell you another team that is looking at this and likes what they see. That's the Donuts. Yeah, the Donuts are going to be very, very happy if the Hardos lose the series, or even if the Hardos just lose a couple of maps. Because the Donuts are currently in the number 2 spot. They want to attack this too. So, whew, they are getting some serious work done here. Look at the level 10. They can go for the top key, the top fort. I mean, easily. I gotta say, not too bad. Not too bad. Here comes the Metamorphosis. No hunt. Kind of sad, but still. I'm not gonna blame them for that. Look at that difference in experience. They're more than a level ahead. Are you kidding me? More than a level? Wow. What? The Hardos are getting smacked around right now. The Hardos are turning into the softies over here. I mean, holy hell. We got 30k going completely ham on them, stealing everything away. And yeah, that's 2 kills only. They're gonna get the halftime show in this one too. They are crushing. They are absolutely crushing. I mean, what on earth? Masquerade, he's the only one trying to go for the defense and slow them down a little bit. But yeah, the Hardos, they're going limp. The Hardos are going limp in this game. I don't know what to tell you, but I hope that they're going to put up a bit of a fight once they hit the level 10 abilities. It's understandable that as long as the heroics are ready for the 30k, that they can't really do anything. But I don't know. Yeah, okay, blue team, there's the arrow. They want to go for the kill. Can they get it? Oh, looking good. Nah, the Metamorphosis is in. But Illidan, they're getting the kill against Anduin. The Crybaby is down. The Sanctification was a bit too low. That's a big shield on the Immortal. That's a huge shield. Hazo goes down. They get the kill against Illidan, but that seems to be the only thing that they can get here. Nick is moving away, but Bad Benny is not out of this just yet. He gets slowed down. Benny is on the run, and they want him. Yeah, here comes Masquerade. He's on the Eld Ruins. Bad Benny, they know exactly where he is. He jumped back out and gets, of course, immediately attacked by Masquerade. Masquerade can slow him down, does exactly that. This is a delayed kill against him. Or is it? Yeah, there's the connect. Yeah, and they're pushing the top side, of course. They're pushing the top side at the same time. Yeah, 30k. 30k, they're going ham, and the Hardos, they're going soft. They need some blue pills, ladies. They need some blue pills, or this is going to be a problem. I mean, we got now with Anduin, we got the light bomb, we got the blade storm, but the wall at the top is gone. Illidan is moving in. They're not fully committing to it. There's a level 13 talent advantage. What the hell? I expected Hardos to go ham on this one, but now we're seeing the opposite. There it is. There's the kill. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. They take Stukov down, and they're on the chase already. Also, don't forget, as the map opens up, Illidan is going to get stronger. So, yeah, Ultralisk is jumping away. Nick is on the chase, trying to take him down. Ultralisk, and he's dead. Ultralisk is down. Illidan is eliminated. And they're going to go for Masquerade too. Alrighty, now we're talking. The Hardos are back to business. Yeah, I don't have a problem with them losing a map or two, but boy, don't get slapped around like this. We have certain expectations after now. You can't just dominate the first part of the season like there's nothing else that can even touch you and then just go and get completely murdered in the game here. So yeah, they're fighting back. Let's go. We got the 6 kill against 4 lead, but now there's some momentum at the top side. Yes, they are starting to go for the wall here. Blade Storm all day, every day. Get that storm in, baby. And down here, they also go for the camp. So the camp gets taken. Well, that's actually, in this case, of course, the opponent's team that went for that. They can take the camp quickly. Illidan has to defend at the top, which is exactly what he does, but down at the bot lane, now that Samuro is also becoming more of a threat and more of a problem, and just moves in every single time to take some of the structures down, this is going to get a little bit nasty as well. So yeah, so far so good. Now, they're also attempting to set up a couple of traps here, as you can see. But now with the next objective being announced, the main goal is to lock in the mercenary camp. And this is of course the neat part, that they stole this away earlier. Now it is spawning now, as you can see, but there's still no denying that you don't have the time to move in for it. If you're the blue team, you have to just accept that for the beginning you're not going to have a camp pushing. And yeah, just deal with it. Either way, now that the top camp is moving in, it's going to go straight up for the keep, so that's a threat. They're trying to force the fight quickly, and the arrow connects, but they can't follow up on it. Instead, Chris is in trouble, and Hawkeye is down. That's a mad problem. With the top lane pushing, and them losing a hero this early in the fight, only half a level missing for 30k to lock in a level 16 talent, that is a bit of a disaster here. And the chase isn't over yet. No, they go for Bad Benny. They want another kill. He makes it out, but they barely escapes. Hardos trying to defend, but the top lane pressure is there, and even Quasar is now jumping in, trying to escalate the situation even further. A bit of extra experience would of course also go a long way. And just look at them, they're jumping onto the camp. They're even trying to steal that. They decided against it. They don't want to get too greedy here, as you can tell. But yeah, the action is definitely up now. I mean, they are making some mad plays now. Yeah, Hawkeye's back, but he's not part of the fight yet, and that's a problem. Here comes the Blade Storm, though. Nice damage against Masquerade, and everybody was clustering up around it. They're going for the Immortal, and they should be able to at least get that. Can they win the fight as well, though? That's the bigger question right now. They're already moving in. Masquerade is low, and the Hardos, they know that they have to go for the fight here. That's what they're trying to do. But they couldn't really make it happen here. So instead, everybody's moving back down. They're trying to chase back Illidan. That didn't work out yet, but there's the kill against Varidan. So they go for the consolation prize, and they're able to take him apart. The problem is that Anduin falls as well. Another Hanzo arrow. The game's all over the place. And of course, they're chasing hard now. The top keep hasn't fallen yet. They're pushing Hanzo back a little bit further. They're making the play down at the bottom. The level 16 talent still give the lead over the 30k. And this is just looking fantastic now for the red team. Top side is also getting attacked. The catapult is already on the keep, and it's likely going to fall if nobody defends the lane. At the bottom, the party is going to continue too as the Immortal pushes in. They're likely going to get both of the keeps here in that play. They're going for the keep at the bot lane. The level 16 talent advantage is a big, big plus now. And if they get a few more kills, then they could technically even try to go for the core here, which of course makes things even worse. One keep down, keep at the top. It falls as well. One more shot, that's all they need, and the catapult locks it in. What an incredible advantage for the team in red. Incredible lead for them now. They are looking absolutely fantastic in this series here. Not only did they lock in the victory on the first map, but they're also looking at a solid advantage in this second game. And for the Hardos, it's tough. I mean, the problem is, of course, that if you're falling behind this heavily and you're losing out on map number 2, that pretty much means that you have to win 3 in a row if you're trying to decide the series in your favor. And it would be even worse if they are losing this one without even taking a single map. Can you imagine that? They established an incredible lead over the duration of the first half of the season. And now falling apart here a little bit, oof, that would really, really hurt. I mean, they pretty much had a lock on the number 1 spots throughout most of the first half of the season, to an extent where nobody could even take a map from them. Not only that they didn't lose a lot of games, I mean, they didn't lose a map. And then at the end, yes, we had the Donuts doing much better against them. A couple of other teams were also able to take some maps off them, but still, it was an impressive run that they had. And now they are 3 kills behind, they are a level behind, and they don't have a single structure on the map anymore. At least not a single keep. And there's the level 20 for Chromie already, so she's soon gonna get the follow-up on it. But with the next Immortal spawning, this is more or less the last chance that you have to change things a bit. So they're going to try. Cam is going to push in. Dino is pushing a little bit out. Everybody else is just trying to take position. And yeah, they're just going for a race. I honestly feel the only thing that the Hardos can do is try to force a fight and try to wipe. I mean, they're desperate right now. Time is working in favor of 30k. If that is just a delayed fight in the middle, then eventually these lanes are going to push. Nice! Dino with a perfect dodge. Great dodge by him on Hanzo's arrow. That one was important. And Hazu gets attacked immediately. So Sanctification and Tier is out. No, this isn't working for them. There's the kill against Tyrael. That's the first one that they get. The top lane is pushing already. Illidan is moving in. He gets 2 kills. They're going for Hanzo. They drop him 2. What a beautiful performance by 30k here today in this series, at least up to this point. They're coming in. They want a few more kills. Anduin does what he does best. He tries to run away, but this time he's not fast enough. Illidan, you can't run for him. You can try to hide, but you cannot run from Illidan. Again, here, one of the best moments in that last play. Look at that arrow. Here's the arrow. There's the dodge. Fantastic setup from Dino. That honestly set them up for that particular play here. Great performance by him. They're going for Chris. They take him down 2. It's 12 kills against 5. They go for the core. Nick is the only survivor. Likely gonna fall as well. And that is a 2-0 lead in this best of 5 for 30k. Incredible. Totally different performance here from 30k than in the first part of the season when they faced off against the blue team. Nicely done. They take the big lead as we are heading into game number 3 of this Heroes of the Storm match. It's a little bit shocking. The Hardos, they're down 0-2. Even if they win 3 in a row and lock in the match victory, that's still 2 maps that they just lost against a team that they defeated without dropping a single map in the first half of the season. Towers of Doom is our 3rd map, and this could well be a 3-0 victory for 30k, because they have been playing incredibly well. Maybe in game number 1 they had 1 or 2... Yeah, well, they had like 1 or 2 situations where they got a little bit too greedy. The first boss comes to mind, for example. But outside of that, they played a clean game. They played incredibly well, and they were building on every single bit of momentum that they were able to get. So they are looking fantastic. Right now, we have Uther banned out, Lucio banned out again. Against Yasuo, they're just like banning Lucio over and over. Towers is a big map too, so any kind of speed setup here is always great. Maybe even another ban against Medivh. We're going to see that again. First of all, Mei gets eliminated. But yeah, Medivh can be super powerful here too. So yeah, I mean, I'm really curious. I'm really intrigued a bit to see what the Hardos are going to do. There's the Medivh ban. Because I kind of expected I expected this to be a closer series than the last time. I didn't really think that the Hardos would be able to get another 3-0. But I did also not expect that we are going to see 30k. I mean, I don't want to say stomp, but at least in part dominate the Hardos the way that they just did on the last map. So big kudos to the red team for what they're doing here. Brightwing is the first pick, rocking the global. And that leaves us with Hogger and Sonya, both up. We've seen Hogger Sonya double picks from teams. Mainly Infernal Shrines, where it's even more important, but we've seen other maps where it was done as well. So the last 2 times, Hogger didn't really work out too well for Chris. Here comes Hogger. Do they go for Sonya as well? They go for Varian. They go for Varian again. Alright. Ruski Varian is in. And he did well last time. Even with Anduin, they couldn't play against him. I gotta admit that Illidan also had a pretty big impact. I mean, Illidan is always such a disruptive force if you have nothing to control him properly. The Brightwing first pick is also interesting because let's say that 30k was thinking about using Illidan in this game as well. They're now thinking about it twice. Brightwing was even like in the old school days of the alpha and beta, you had Brightwing as a bit of a counter to Illidan because the polymorph can rack him. And what Illidan wants to do, he wants to move. The best counter against Illidan is CC. If you can CC him in any way, crowd control him, stun him, polymorph him, doesn't really matter, then you're going to be in a good spot. Because as long as he can move, as long as he can dodge out, dive in, jump back out, and attack, he's going to be a problem for you. And that was very, very transparent in the last map. There comes the Carrigan ban too, because Nick, of course, is always a bit of an X-factor for the team. And if he lands his stun combos, that is just a disaster. You got Diablo on the other side for Bad Benny, so even stronger. And yeah, good bans. I like the ban patterns that we're seeing from 30k. That makes a lot of sense. You're never going to be in a position where you can ban everything out, right? It's never going to happen. There's always a couple of picks where you see them coming in and you're thinking like, oh my god, how did they get that? And the answer is simple. There's so much stuff that you want to ban against an opponent, you will never be able to ban everything. But you can at least ban the things that are the most dangerous and that you are the most uncomfortable playing against. So banning Carrigan is also going to allow Stukov to play this a bit more aggressively. We have Cassia in. Hogger for camps, trying to control the pumpkins as much as they can. There's D.Va for Chris, and what is Nick gonna play? What are we gonna see from Nick this time? Again, if they lose here, it's over. If they lose here, that's a 3-0 victory for 30k. And while that would not drop the Hardos from the number 1 spot right away, it would still make it very, very easy for the Donuts now to attack that position. And we get Nick on Jaina. So Jaina is back, the Ice Queen. We've seen her a few times in the past. Yeah, now Ultralisk. And with the past, I mean, this season she was played a bit more. For, I want to say, the last year, we had not a lot of Jaina play. We had sometimes... Yeah, it's been a while. Jaina pretty much has fallen off ever since team stopped going for Void Prison plus Ring of Frost. And she's just been replaced by other damage dealers. But there's Sonya. They take her last, but they still take her. That's a nasty frontline. That's a nasty, nasty frontline. Towers of Doom, everybody. Game number 3. Master Clash match. More Heroes of the Storm as we're heading into the game between 30k and the Hardos, everybody. Game number 3. Game number 3. Let's go. Time to shine, everybody. The Hardos on the left side, 30k on the right. A 2-0 lead for the red team. And this time we got Bad Benny on Diablo. We got Nick on Jaina. Hazops on Tychus. Yazu on Brightwing. And Chris is playing D.Va. On the right side of the map, Ultralisk on Hogger for 30k. They want that 3-0 victory. They can smell it. Dino's playing Cassia, Dequaza is on Sonya, X-Ray on Stukov, and Masquerade is playing Varian. Okay, let's get this show on the road and see if the Hardos can bring it back here slowly but steadily, build a bit of momentum with the victory on Towers of Doom, or if this is gonna be another win for 30k, if they're really able to take the Hardos down without dropping even a single map. That's gonna be the big question right here and now. Well, as we're heading into this, once again, big shout out also to all the supporters who support the stream on Patreon. Thank you very, very much for everybody doing this. Again, for all the guys watching this on YouTube, make sure that you hit that like button. And if you want to support the stream, the channel, and those VODs a little bit, then check out the new applause button that is underneath the player. New applause feature that got unlocked on YouTube. The support there is always appreciated, but especially a shout out to all the Patreons there. Thanks, guys, for continuing to support the stream and the channel. Well, the support that they need right now is the support of the fans, because the Hardos, they're struggling. And it's not something that I expected to say today, but they, I mean, they're with the back to the wall. And it's weird. It's so weird to me. I've been talking about it in the draft a little bit, and I'm sorry that I probably start sounding like a broken record here, but it's really not what I saw happening. And 30k, I feel they underperformed in the first part of the season against them, but I didn't think that they would just slam it out like this. And there's a kill against Varian, so that's a bit more like it. That's the aggression and the snappy decision-making that we're used to from the Hardos. So it was a good kill. Now, I gotta admit that still sacrificing Varian here also was not the worst idea, because what really worked... I mean, it worked out in the sense that they were able to save the camp. And that's a little bit more important than Varian surviving, because that could have been just way worse. The invade would have been there one way or another, and if it's this early in the game, then the single kill against the target doesn't really mean anything, especially in this particular situation. So there's a slight lead in experience now thanks to that, but they didn't lose their pumpkins, which could have resulted in more structural damage towards the wall, so there's at least that. But, well, we're gonna see how level 4 especially is gonna change the equation now, because taunt is always the big one. And Nick is playing this already very, very safe here. But Bad Benny is in trouble. Yep, there it is. And Brightwing is moving in too. And 8 hit points? No way. Brightwing with 8 hit points survives. You are joking. There's the kill. There's the kill. Okay, Diablo goes down. There was just no way that they saved everyone. So at least Diablo dies. But boy, that was a little bit clutch here for just a moment. Check that one out. Check Brightwing out in this one. So here's the attack. Brightwing jumps in and just look at her. That was 8 hit points as she moved away, and Yasu is still alive. So now the channel is happening. They're getting the one in the middle. Shots are being fired. The first 4 connect. Tychus was trying to steal away the top right, but he got interrupted, and Dequaza is now taking it. So it leads to exactly what you would expect to happen. 30k takes the 2 altars 2-1. So good on them. So they got that. Yeah, the push in the middle. Bit more of an aggressive stance now from 30k compared to the earlier stages. Tigers, by the way, with the bigger they are, so he didn't go for his stacks on level 4, but is instead playing it out by trying to chunk down the front line, and that goes not only for Varian, but also Hogger and Sonya, of course. But Bad Benny with Diablo, they know exactly where he is. I was for a second thinking they might jump on him, and well, they tried, but now that they see that Hardos is coming in with Tigers too, they abandoned that idea quickly. Level 7, we got the Ice Flows in. Alright. Also the Arcane Intellect and the Lingering Chill. So a little bit of a different setup than what you're normally seeing from Jaina here. But again, adjustments are being made as they're trying to play this one out. And here we have it. Here comes the push for the camp. Both of them are taking it, but they're also going for Sonya. And Quasar, they save him. It's a close one, but they are able to take it. So nice. Good job for them. Quasar starting to slowly move out. Rest of the team is also on the move. And yep, nobody dying yet. Another grenade connects from Hardos' Tychus, but it doesn't really force anything. Down here, they want to take those pumpkins down though. But with Nick being here, they might escort them fully into the bell tower, and an early conversion would already be fantastic. So nice. Yeah, well, up at the top, another trap is being set. And this is the continuous theme of this game. Everybody's just trying to set up a couple of traps. Teams are attempting to get ganks in. Bad Benny with the engage here, for example. But Pogga is easily moving out of this. Yeah, spins away. And both of the teams are now looking at level 10 and also the single altar that just spawned at the bottom of the map. So we're going to see a fight over this one. And, well, there's the taunt again. They're trying to focus Bad Benny, but this time the follow-up was a little bit too late, and Dino's in trouble, running into the Blizzard. He has no chance here. No, his path of retreat got cut off by Chris, who jumped in with D.Va, blocked him, and the body block led to the end of the damage dealer, and of course it results in Hardos getting a free channel on the altar. They are drawing even on points of the core now. Yep. They're drawing even on the points on the core. Shots are fired, 32 against 32. And for everybody that isn't quite aware, what's really on the line here is also, of course, the participation in an offline final. We didn't really have any offline events in ages, and the Masters Clash is not only a shit ton of money on the line for heroes these days, but also you can finally participate in an offline event again. There's obviously always a little caveat of Corona, but given that the situation in Europe is getting better and better with vaccines increasing, it seems that the offline event is more or less a given. Right now, the last updates that we got sounded very, very positive, and since it still is, I think, another 2 or 3 months until that would happen, we can all assume that the situation is going to be good enough by then to make that a reality. And that's what the teams are really fighting for. It's always the best thing in esports when you can go to the offline event and meet everybody. That's what they're trying to do here. And that's why they're also now going full-on ham on these team fights, trying to get some additional kills in. But it's kind of impressive how in most of the battles, both teams are just moving away from each other without anybody dying, even if all the R buttons have been hit and have been hit hard. They're going for a bit of a trap attempt. Level 10 abilities gave us the Emerald Wind, so this time we don't get the Blink heal. And yeah, let's go. Right now, what else are we getting? Yeah, we got the double altar now at the top. And if you have the double altar top side, it's pretty much never gonna be an aggressive play. We've seen, yes, of course, we've seen a couple of 40-0s in the past, but normally it's an even exchange. Nobody is trying to make the play there unless you get a kill just before it happens, and even then it's a bit of a question mark. Got the water elemental in, we got the lightning breath, and Bad Benny is sitting tight here. X-ray not interrupted. Yeah, the range wasn't there. So the even channel on both sides, and that brings us to 28 points for both teams on the core. Yeah, they're going for Varian again though. Masquerade, they're trying to turn it, and Brightwing is down. The green target practice has been eliminated. And that is kill number 2 for 30k. And of course a 5 versus 4 situation on the map that allows them to play a bit more aggressive. Can they invade the camp? Nope, that's a minute and 30 seconds, so they're not going to get anything done over here. They can maybe push the bot lane out a bit, but that's probably the most that they can get out of this kill. So the death timer is still fairly low, and Brightwing, thanks to their global, can of course join the rest of the team quickly. But they're still attempting to at least attack the wall, because their own bell tower has already taken damage. But if they can at least go for the wall, that would be neat. And they're going to try. Sonya against D.Va, top side. They might battle over the camp. But down here, yeah, it's all still plays for maybe another drop on Bad Benny or Yasu. The next altar is also going to spawn 2. So the next altar phase is going to spawn 2 at the bottom of the map. And, well, damage output. It's a little bit more of a cautious game, honestly, than what we have seen in game number 1 and game number 2. And I really can't blame the Hardos in particular for it. For them, there's a lot on the line now. It's one thing to lose the series. It's another thing to not even take a map. That's something that shouldn't happen, and it puts you in a real awkward position very quickly in the standings. But Benny gets attacked again. The virulent reaction is in. 13 is available for both teams. Water Elemental already got popped too. So that one is not gonna make it too long. Yeah, still with the Christmas theme. Same as we're still seeing in the Heroes of the Storm client. It is always Christmas in the Nexus. That's pretty much what Blizzard is trying to tell us. Yasu gets the channel. Nice. There's the shockwave. And they're looking for the kill. Ah, that barbecue. Cassia gets barbecued hard as the Hardos commit to the Lightning Breath in the team fight. With Odin getting popped and Lightning Breath, those are some serious hits. Nicely done. Masquerade, can they take him? And he gets out. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He got close, but he's not making it happen. And now, of course, that bell tower is an easy picking. And that's 5 shots fired, technically now, from the altar that they're going to channel in just another second. So, guys, they are doing what they gotta do in order to force game number 4. This is starting to look better and better for them. Nice. Well done. And, yep, with the 5 shots fired, he puts the core down to 19 points. So they got the 9-point lead now. And if they lock a few more of these teamfight victories in, then that would be huge. They have 2 pumpkin camps that they just took. So all of the pumpkins are making it through the bot lane. That's the main reason why you want to control the bot lane on this map, because you have 2 of the camps that push straight up through the lane and can technically take the core down and notch or 2. Yeah, water elemental even more. And here we go. They're gonna fire a shot or 2. 1 shot is through, and well, that's about it. Only 1 made it. D.Va, Jaina. That's a quick kill. Yeah, I don't think they expected that. So Jaina's down, and that should allow them to retake the bell tower. Okay. In the middle of the map, Sonya also going for the experience. I mean, one of the concerns is, of course, that the opponent is running snowball move, and it's always a talent ahead of you. But if they can maybe even come in here, that would be big. Oh, beautiful! The big shove, but let's not forget that altar, the bell tower is still taken by the blue team. It doesn't change the fact that Brightwing just committed Sudoku by trying to help Bad Benny out. Dove in deep and died for the attempt. But Bad Benny, he's trying. They take the bell tower and Ultralisk is nearly dead. He is dead. And Benny gets out. What does he? Dainu! Can Masquerade close the gap? They're falling back. They're falling back. They see Jaina and they're saying, guys, it's not worth it. We killed 2. We are ahead now. We have the superior numbers. Why risk it here? Let's just fall back for now. But impressive that Bad Benny got away. I mean, impressive. Masquerade is channeling at the bottom now. D.Va had to boost back. So up at the top, Dequaza has already taken it. That's 8 shots fired in total. And that closes the gap between the 2 teams a little bit. Jaina gets at least 1 connector, so that's 20 points against 14 now. A 6-point advantage. Still a decent lead for the Hardos, but nowhere near the lead that they had a bit earlier. So, yeah, nicely done by 30k. And of course, now we got the 16 talents also available for both of the teams. 5 kills to 5. It is an incredibly close match, especially compared to what we saw before. Well, I feel like the comment doesn't really do the Hardos justice. Yes, they were snowballed a bit towards the end of some of the games, but they always seemed like a single team fight could bring them back, and they executed some really nice battles against 30k on both of the previous maps. It doesn't change the fact, though, that they are now trailing heavily behind in the series, of course. And with 30k now starting to win a few battles in this one as well, it could always be a comeback for the team, as they're still hoping to lock this one in without even losing a single map. So here we have it. The chase is on at the bottom of the map again. Jaina in the middle going up against Sonya here. And down at the bot lane, it's going to be a single altar again. So single altar back up on the map. So what? Sonya dying to Jaina as Brightwing started to help out. Okay, that shouldn't have happened. Well, she doesn't have leap and can't jump out. That was a good one. Yeah, that should have happened at all. So now they're going for a second kill and they're trying to grab Varian here, which they might just be able to pull off with Chris pushing him back in, and that's a follow-up kill. Ha! Nicely done. 7 kills to 5 out of nowhere, the double kill. Great for the Hardos. A chance to push for another bell tower, and that comes with the announcement of the ult at the bottom of the map, and therefore the opportunity to make it work. They get even 2. Damn, that's 6 shots that they can fire here. Yeah. If they get both of... I mean, one is already great, but if they get the second one too, if they move into the middle to take this one too, they could get 6 shots fired. But Yasuo is going for the channel, and so it's going to be 5 points off the core right there. Bam. Down to the single digits, everybody. Single digits setup. Boss at the top. That's another threat, of course. Varian isn't here. Varian is not here. Well, they went for the Emerald Wind, but yeah, no play for the boss. They're taking the Water Elemental down. Varian is now joining up with them, but that's an entire level that the Hardos are ahead now. 1 whole level. So that is a big problem. That's the main reason, by the way, why 30k is attacking this right now. Because they're saying, guys, we need to fight before they have level 20, or we're going to be in deep shit. So instead they're going for the push right here, trying to take the boss. They have to remove it from the map, but the first thing that is about to get removed seems to be Masquerade. Pogga is pogging, the Quasar is low, they're stealing it, they're taking the boss, and they're going for D.Va too, but I don't think they can keep everybody alive. Dino is frontlining it now, and he gets ripped, so he's dead. And it seems just a matter of time until we're seeing a victory here for the Hardos in this game. They go straight up for Stukov and they take him down as well. Great plays by now from the Hardos. They struggled throughout the series for sure, but now they're making the plays and they're doing exactly what they need to do in order to lock in a victory. They're so close to the level 20. They have a single altar at the bottom. That's 5 shots fired. That would put them down to 4. That's the main reason why 30k went for the boss, so that they can't end right away. But that's another bell tower that gets taken. And they could technically try to even go for the barrage now. Emerald Wind gets upgraded. They are so far ahead. It's getting a bit crazy. Great control over the game. The Hardos, the double kill in particular, starting with Sonya and then following it up with the second one. I think it was against Varian earlier. That really was where they started to take a big, big lead here. And yeah, the shots get fired. Big ones. That is 6 points off the core. Puts it down to 3. Which means single pumpkin connect and you are toast. All that they need. Get a pumpkin connect and you are Gucci. So they're hoping for it. Masquerade is dead again. Masquerade is dead. Yeah, they just control it too hard. It's level 20 advantage. Obviously, you are way behind. The power spike on level 20 is always incredible. And they are just doing a great job playing it to its fullest extent. So they're zoning them out here, and I think at this point you pretty much just have to accept your fate. There we go. Shots are being fired, and ladies and gentlemen, this is game. We have the first point on the board for the Hardos as we're heading into game number 4, everybody. Tomb of the Spider Queen, map number 4, the Hardos. They put a point onto the board, and now they're playing their best map. They are still undefeated here, to my knowledge. They are still undefeated on Tomb of the Spider Queen, so this is a tough map for 30k to win. And if the Hardos take it and bring it to game 5, that would be pretty incredible. Because after the 2-0 lead, I did not expect a 5-mapper. And again, obviously, we're jumping ahead of ourselves a little bit here, so let's keep that in mind. But now we got Lucio and also Uther banned. The ban patterns are more or less the same, or at least similar. Of course, the situation changes now slightly because first pick has switched. So they ban Varian out since especially Bad Benny. I mean, Bad Benny had a while where he played nothing but Varian, and this is one of the maps. But you can see it a bit twisted because now Medivh gets banned out by the Hardos, since they are aware that 30k could play it too. They have Ultralisk on their side after all, but the first thing that happens is Hogger. Yeah, Chris is not getting the Hogger pick this time. They can still go for Sonya, which is likely. Now, there are other offlaners that you can play on the map, but Sonya is still super powerful, but Hogger gets taken right away. Yeah, and you gotta be a bit careful here, because as mentioned before, this is probably the best map for the Hardos in the past, throughout the entire first season and also the entire year here. And the big question is simply, can 30k take them down here, yes or no? Chromie and May. Big control already at the front. Bad Benny playing it with May this time. And yep. What are we getting here now? You want to have the wave clear. You want to have a little bit more than what Hogger just gives you. And they've been very heavily playing these sniper comps now. Talking about sniper comms, well, there we have Kerrigan, and we get Anna. So it's a little bit of a game of chicken nearly, where it seems that 30k just thought, guys, if we don't pick Kerrigan right now, first of all, there's a chance that they ban it against us, because they know that Ultralisk plays it too, but the bigger problem could be that Nick locks it in for themselves. So, yeah, Anna is in, and we get Kerrigan. They're banning out Diablo right away. Yeah, Masquerade on Diablo is insane. Masquerade on Diablo is absolutely incredible. So you want to ban Diablo out against him. Yeah, his Diablo is kind of... His Diablo is one of those things where you wake up screaming in the middle of the night because you think that you played against Masquerade's Diablo. Like, yeah, he's incredible. And then you realize that you can beat the shit out of him in real life and you're fine again. But yeah, there we go. They got Kane and D.Va get both taken. Also, a little bit of push around. And they got Kane, of course, with some of those setups for the sleep. Last Playday, he had a 5-man ult. A 5-man ult. I think it was Infernal Shrines. That was absolutely incredible. Which leaves us with Nick as the last pick. Yeah, and of course now, what are we getting from Dino? Cassia is still up. So they still could pick him, Cassia. There's the Junkrat pick, I like it. He played fantastic on Junkrat earlier, so I really like the Junkrat pick. Good for the interrupt on any channel on the objective, and also the isolation plays that he had on Braxis were awesome, so that was great. And together with that we get Johanna, so there's some added wave clear, so you have plenty. And of course, what is Nick gonna take right now? Yeah, our last pick. Guys, game number 4. We're heading into it, and Tomb of the Spider Queen is the map. Nick on Leo. So they got D.Va, they got Leo, and they got Bad Benny's May, which leaves Chromie as the only range damage dealer here. And with that, we're heading into Tomb of the Spider Queen. So guys, let's get going and see what game number 4 brings. If the Hardos can force the 5th map, or if 30k finishes it right here and locks in a 3-1 victory. Game number 4. Another match point for 30k. Bad Benny on May for the Hardos. On the blue team side, we got Hardos and Chromie. Yazoo on Deckard Kane. Nick on Leoric. And Chris plays D.Va. 30k on the other hand, with X-Ray on Anna. We got Ultralisk on Kerrigan. Dino on Junkrat. Dequaza on Hogger. And we have Masquerade playing Jojo in game number 4. They have another match point. They have an opportunity to end the series here, but this is still the best map of the Hardos. They are very strong on this one. Leo played by Nick, the janitor, trying to take out the trash here. Oh, and he shifted away from his yellow snowflake, finally realizing that a yellow snowflake is nothing else but frozen pea. Don't eat yellow snow, everybody. A quick PSA for everyone out there. Well, and at the bottom of the map, Kerrigan. Yeah, they're bullying Chris a bit, but he got out. He didn't get he didn't get stunned out by this. But yeah, they were trying to go for the big bully plays. And of course now the rotation between the 4-man in mid and top lane is underway. But yeah, it's time to party here. I want to see what they can pull off. Tequaza already on the run. I mean, there's so many interrupts that they have. Chromie, they got Kane, both are great for interrupting channel attempts whenever the teams have enough gems. Yeah, Hogger is doing his thing, of course. That hero is sometimes just so silly, it's incredible. At the bottom of the map, Ultralisk is doing his thing on a solo. Of course, we have another team on the left side busying themselves with the mercenary camp. Chromie for interrupt potential later. They got Kane, Junkrat. Yeah, I mean, even Anna can do a bit of interrupting on the channel, but also Sonya with a flashlight. And they're trying to go for Nick apparently down here, because they're trying to go for the Siege Giants, and I don't think that the blue team is going to be there in time. Nope, it's not happening. That one goes over to the red team. So they're a little bit ahead on the camps. In the middle, there's still a bit of a poke out. Everybody's just going through the motions here. Going for the camps after the 1 minute mark, trying to go for the Bruiser camp, trying to make the play for the Siege Giant camp, hoping, of course, to set up a gank every now and then, especially with Kerrigan. The early level 4 helps them slightly, but not a big lead. Not even close. And, well, eventually we're gonna see who is forcing the first objective. And if Kerrigan can, of course, land a combo and set a kill up for them. Also, once again, we've had it in one of the previous games already, but this time, no Kneel Peasants. Instead, we have the Paralyzing Rage. And if you're playing this many frontliners, then you don't necessarily need it. So Leo is not gonna go full on out on the wave clear, but instead is trying to help out with more slows during the team fight. There's the Kerrigan combo as they're trying to go for Nick. And we got a Ruby on Deckard's Cane level 4. Nobody's turned anything in yet. Everybody is accumulating the gems. Dequaza is trying to get rid of his. But Bad Benny is there and interrupts him immediately. So, all the way up to the top. House Ops is already sitting tight. Yeah, Dino dodging out on all of the damage. Good for him. Sonya still not in the game. Instead, we have Jojo who can come in with the shield clear and go for some interrupts now too. Masquerade is sitting over the right side. No, Sonya didn't make it into this one. She made it into pretty much every single game that we've seen so far, but this is one of the few exceptions where where she's not a part of. Instead, we have Hogger here and Ultralisk, who's waiting for a potential attack. Instead, they're getting slowed. Ultralisk, they're jumping on him, and that could be, should be, will be kill number 1. Maybe, maybe not. Anna. Ah, there it is. Took him a long time, but they were able to get it. For a moment, I really thought that X-Ray would be able to keep her alive, but no, it was close. It was very, very close. The first kill of the game, but Bad Benny, oh, close call. Instead, Chris comes in, he plays to win, and he takes down Junkrat. Yeah, Junkrat just got run over. He just got run over. That is pretty much a traffic victim right there. So, yeah, that's the blue Web Weaver waves also descending. And once again, the reputation of the Hardos seems to be accurate. They are coming in to take down their opponents on the map. And this is just, this is their home game map. This is the map where they play by far the best, and you can tell. No problem for them locking in the first objective, playing it exceptionally well, getting the double kill in. Yeah, and just looking better and better by the minute. So, great job for them. They're looking for more kills as the Web Weavers are already out on the map. So if they get a kill together with it, that would be even better. Would help them to get more value out of the Web Weaver wave as they're moving in for it. Mid lane gets attacked. They're also checking out what's happening up at the top side, as both of those Web Weavers are already in position. At the bottom of the map, D.Va is pushing it out, but down here the wall is already falling. So, good job taking this one out. Kerrigan has also to be a bit more careful since she's continuously being attacked and they're trying to lock her down. But the battle in the mid lane is also still ongoing. Walls are falling everywhere. Fountains are being attacked. That one is awesome. The minion is here at the side, but yeah, that's the end of the fountain. Fountain in the mid lane is destroyed. Even the fort is taking a bit of damage. The leading experience is of course accelerated too, so they're now looking at an early level 10 if they continue. Yeah, and they're looking good here. Leo goes out. Still plenty of gems, by the way, for 30k. So yes, the first Web Weaver wave was taken by the Hardos. But 30k, they have held on to more or less all of their gems. And that's great for them. The problem that they are facing is the early level 10 for the Hardos. That's the biggest issue, honestly. If you have your opponent's team being this close to rogue abilities and you're just not there yet, then you always have to question, do we want to turn in? Because if we do and they get heroics and they have an easy defense, we don't really want to allow them to do that. But I feel at some point you really gotta make the call, because in the back of your head, you have to be a bit worried about the Hardos forcing game number 5. And here are the rogue abilities. So we get the Entomb as usual. We have on top of that also the Old Man telling stories again. The Ice Wall is out. Shockwave now that both team have it. 30k is coming in, swinging, trying to make their plays here. And they have 93 gems now. They need to turn those in. Masquerade, okay, he dodges out on it. As the bathroom gets dropped on him. Yeah, there's the drain. They need that team fight. Talking about team fight, seems like Dino makes it out as May was starting to focus onto him. But still, they're looking so far pretty okay. I mean, 2 kills to 0. They can't turn in though. They haven't turned in a single gem yet. And there's the ice wall as they're making the move for Jojo. And she is jumping out right away, not even hesitating for just a second. With her committing to the falling sword, you want to attack that backline. You want to put the pressure onto Deckard Cain. I mean, pretty much the first time that we really saw reliably falling sword taken was when Anna was just like the hero to take down. And putting pressure on her made it so much easier to take these team fights that the teams have committed to it over and over again. And we're seeing that now against other backliners too. Nick with the 25 gems is landing another Entomb, but there's no follow-up this time. And we're still waiting for the first gem to be turned in by 30k. Yeah, there's not a single one yet. Masquerade, he has 39 gems, tries to turn in again, but Chromie has already sniffed him out. Knows exactly where he is. Yeah, and, well, let's go. Another jump. This might be the end of Nick, though. Nick, can they take him? Carrigan comes in. Carrigan! The Riptire! They can't close the gap. That would have been fantastic for them. If 30k gets that kill, that's so many gems down the drain, that would have been fantastic. Yeah, but the blue team turns in. Look how many gems they're holding. They have more than 100 gems right now, and they haven't turned in a single one yet. Leo, Nick, Ultralisk, he wants him, and he doesn't get him. Instead, the interrupt on Deckard Cain's ult as Jojo jumps in. Nick is so low, and Deckard is not looking much better. But it's the second Web Weaver wave in a row now. The Hardos, they're closing on level 13. They are really running the momentum. The big part, of course, is as long as 30k holds onto the gems, it's not over yet. If you hold onto the gems, you can get multiple turn-ins in a row later on too. But they have to hold on to them. And Nick, he just doesn't die. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. He just doesn't fall. The Web Weaver is down at the top. Dino is trying to do what he can. But it's just crazy how Leo the entire time doesn't get any trade value. Like, nothing at all. So here's the level 13 talents for them now. They're going for the drain setup again, with him going into the unyielding despair now. And they are holding on to every single fort. All of the forts are low, but they at least hold on for them for the time being. 133 gems. 30k has 133 gems. That's 2 insta turn-ins. Easily. And yeah, they need to just land it at some point. Again, has to jump out with a falling sword. And at some point they gotta turn in. It's even talents. But they're losing, of course, ground. They're trying to get the turn in now. I mean, look at Masquerade. Masquerade is at 48. If he gets 2 more gems, he has a turn in by himself. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Here comes the attack again. They're making the play. Bad Benny gets attacked already. And there's the Riptire. They're moving in with the Riptire. They're trying to get the hits in. And, well, they might be able to pull that one off. But all of a sudden, Leo is ghosting out again. The wall, it misses, but it at least blocks them a little bit. And the Quasar just barrels through it and does not care. So, there we go. At the same time, what else are we going to get? We're still having the play for the bot lane because the Siege Giants are still ready and good to go. But the fight is always centering around the turn-in points now, since the Hardos are desperately trying to prevent the red team from turning in. That's what they're trying to do here. Just prevent them from turning in as much as you can. And Hazu, he turned in gems again. And they're going for Ana in the back. The red team finally delivering the Web Weavers. But Ana dies. Ana is down. And they are looking for Ultralisk. Ultralisk, 36 gems. And he dies too. Carrigan is down. Ana is down. The Web Weavers are not going to give them a lot of value. They get the counter kill on Leo. If they Quasar falls, that's 40 gems down the drain. Guys, this is pretty much the end of this game. It has to be. It has to be. I mean, they're not ending the game right now, but that is so many gems that they just lost. It's crazy. So if the Hardos don't throw this, this should be theirs. If the Hardos don't throw that now, then they should have the game. Because first of all, those Web Weavers are not going to do enough damage. Simply because 3 heroes were killed. And you lost so many gems in the attempt to get some counter kills that you pretty much lost your ticket for the comeback. I mean, check it out. What did those Web Weavers do? They dropped a couple towers and maybe also a gate or 2. That's it. That's all that they got. And they lost more than 40 gems. So now we could see a third turn in for the Hardos any second, and then they can try to carry the momentum. Unless, of course, stuff like this happens. Leo dying, I mean, again, it's like, honestly, if you lose a hero, then you always want to lose Leo. They can still turn in, they still have the level 16 advantage, but maybe a chance for 30k to get a turn in, and then get level 16. But yeah, that last encounter was a mad problem. And hello... There it is. Riptire, rip on Deckard Kane. The old timer is down. Okay. The boomer is gone. But they get Ultralisk on the back end. That hurts. Yeah. That is really, really a problem. Okay, so right now 6 to 3 kills. And this is just bad news. 16 at least is ready for the 2 of them. 6 kills to 3. But at the bottom of the map, that's where D.Va is still defending the Web Weavers. If they can get some damage done, then maybe... Yeah, a kill against Bad Benny would also be nice. He has 20 gems, so they're finally getting a bit of work done here. Okay, so the setback was big. They lost 50 gems, I think, in total. The setback is a problem, but they're the first ones to take a fort down. Now, for what it's worth, I don't think that means much, because the fort at the top lane on the red team side is so low that simply spitting at it is already going to drop it. But still, Bad Benny has 23 gems. D.Va is pushing out the bot lane. This isn't over yet. I gotta say that, considering the circumstances, 30k is still faring better than I expected them to. But it's still not easy. They have 19 gems, and the blue team has 73. Okay, has to jump out again every single time. So far, Masquerade has used his Falling Sword, I think, 1 time to be aggressive, and has used it in total 3 times to jump out of the fight. Yeah, can they kill Bad Benny? Can they kill Nick? Can they kill anyone? They're trying. Nick is a little bit low. Bad Benny, and he gets away again, unless the Riptire connects. Riptire, the chase is on, and there's the kill. Nice. And they're going for Leo. It's a double kill. What is this game? Seriously, what's happening here? This is the second time that when a team gets a turn in, we're seeing multiple heroes fall on their side. So now the Web Weavers shouldn't do anything. Karrigan is already defending the top. The rest is defending the middle. What is going on here? Seriously. This is all of a sudden all over the place, this game. Kills are coming out of nowhere every single time the Web Weavers touch ground. And there we have it. They're going straight up to the top to take the last one down. Nick is about to respawn. Keep in mind they're still missing out on Mei, so he needs to fall back a little bit or he would just die again in a second. But I like it. It's a little bit chaotic, but it's definitely entertaining. Chromie already has her level 20. There's a little pocket chihuahua over there is also starting to bark. And now maybe an opportunity to take down another fort at the bot lane. It's kind of crazy if you think about it. The Hardos have still not taken down the fort at the top. I think Leo finally had enough and Nick is now just ghosting in and finally hits it. At this point you're going to be so pissed. Haza's going to be the one. Alright, Haza takes it down. There we go. That was desperately needed. But despite the fact that they just took a fort, it seems like 30k is going to pull ahead on structures by eliminating the fort at the bottom of the map. Siege Giants are already on it. Yeah, but Chris is pushing them back. This is such a weird one. Such a weird game. But hey, I'm all in on it. I'm up for the ride. Okay, so he rip-tires the minion wave. Yeah, and Hogga gets caught. Hogga gets caught, goes for the shockwave. Alright, they're trying to turn it on Leo again. D.Va is sitting at the side here. Karrigan gets hit. Nano boosted Karrigan. And they're pancaking Leo. They pancake move against him. And hello, Deckard Kane in much pain. And the old timer. Oh, he goes down. The old man. And the kill against Chris. Guys, there it is. All of a sudden, 30k. Damn. Damn. They're really powering it up here, aren't they? 3 heroes down, and that is a 16-minute boss that they're aiming for. And they have level 20 just around the corner. Once they have the boss, they have the level 20. What is happening? Honestly, that game, it should have been... I mean, it's always a little bit weird to call a game early, but they were so far ahead. After you take 50 gems of your opponent, you deny the value of the turn-in, and you get 2 turn-ins in a row, you should be able to take some momentum. But that momentum lasted for 30 seconds? Maybe a minute? And then 30k just went beast mode and took him down. And now check this out. They're timing the boss cap, and they're also going for the web weavers. So down, there's a level 20, there's a big push with the web weavers, and they're going for the boss. They're going for all of it. They're going for absolutely all of it. They want that victory. They want the 3-1. And it's nuts. Absolutely crazy. Top side, there's the pressure. Off we go, everybody. Right here we go. They're starting to make the play. They're going in for D.Va. D.Va! Chris! He's dashing out and he gets away. Oh, they wanted him. They really, really wanted him. And he is out. Yeah, but off we go. Level 20 on both sides, and now it's time for the boss to shine and the web weavers. Mid lane gets attacked too. It's 2 keeps it under pressure. Deckard Cain, careful. The old timer in trouble again. Run, Deckard, run. Nope, he's not getting out of this one. Deckard Cain is down. The old man eliminated. He's in a high risk group, and he just got... Nah, Chris! The Entomb nearly a save, but D.Va dies. Chromie turns around and blasts Johanna on the other side. 2 keeps are down, 2 keeps are gone, the core is wide open, and the boss is not done just yet. Guys, this might be the end of it. This might just be the end of it. They're going for the core. They're going for the right click. Unbelievable. 30k. They not only take the series, but they turn this game around. The victory is theirs. The first loss of the Hardos on Tomb of the Spider Queen as 30k finishes off the series with a 3-1 victory.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.